real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Heather Thorson says soon after her 17-year-old son was born, the defendant, his father, disappeared. Heather claims despite the fact that the defendant is a deadbeat dad, her son didn't want his father to go to jail because he wanted a relationship with him. Heather's suing because she claims the defendant is $85,000 behind in child support. Defendant Chad Voss admits that he abandoned his son after he was born, but claims it was because his son was very ill and he didn't know how to handle it. Chad says that he was a deadbeat dad and he deeply regrets not being there for his children, but he's currently making payments toward his back child support.
Tell me what happened.
I met Chad about 18 years ago. We had a child. He was born at 21 weeks of pregnancy. He was 12 ounces and 9 inches long, very sick for 7 months. Chad was in and out of our lives that entire time. We married briefly after that for insurance purposes. Chad didn't stick around very long. He came back, he stole my car and sold like the car seat and everything.
Stole your car?
Mm-hmm. From work while I was at work.
Was he a dope fiend or something?
No, I don't know that drugs was ever. He took the car and it had some baby stuff in it, and he sold like the car seat to some resale shops.
And you don't know why he would have stolen your car?
Well, we were going through a divorce at the time, and he was already moving on. And
did you prosecute him?
No, I was very young.
Okay, how old were you?
I was 18.
All right, man, I might go with that then. You were young and naive and perhaps even so emotionally distraught you wouldn't know what to do. But yeah, I would hope that you would have known if you perhaps 25 or 30 that man divorced you, abandoned you with your child, and then comes back and steals your car. He needs to go to jail. And go ahead.
At any rate, we became divorced. He was quartered to pay child support. In that time, Chad had impregnated another woman, and shortly after that, another one. He was quartered to pay $35 a week. Never did. During the time of when he took the car, he was prosecuted for stealing a credit card or something out of the car. That was a receipt left in there from before we purchased it, so he was charged with credit card fraud. He was put in Huber, where when he was on work release, he took off to another state. We hadn't heard from him for years. At this point, Chad owes me $85,000 in back child support.
And if he owes $85,000, he needs to go to jail also. Let me hear your side, sir. Let me hear your side.
Back when we first met, we had issues. Our son was very, very ill. I did leave. And,
why?
Wasn't in my right frame of mind.
You
was
dope
young.
fiend? You a dope addict, crackhead?
No, sir. No, that I am not.
What was wrong with your mind?
Just a lot of stress of dealing with the sickness of our son.
So you run from it?
And very young, yes. I ran from it.
All right, and let me make an observation about that, because people are confused as to how we have so many single parents raising the children. That's the number one reason, is because the father feels so inept, feels so ashamed that he's unable to take care of the child. So instead he goes to a life of alcohol and drugs and leaves the household. And so you're a prime example of someone who ran because you had too much stress that you couldn't handle. But the problem I have with men who run from their responsibilities because of a little stress, obviously the woman can stand up to the stress and she can stand up to all the problems. So you should stay there and fight it out. Yeah. And I say that's important for me to say, because I think we know the majority of the households in the black community have single parents, and the women are paid a lot less. And so the men don't pay child support because they don't have jobs. And as a result, we have a lot of our young kids on the corners being street kids because they don't have a father there to teach them real manhood, because the father's out here trying to cover up his anger and his disappointment with drugs and alcohol, living the self-destructive life himself. So you ran off and left your family because you couldn't deal with the anger and the stress. And what did that lead to?
Well, part of what started that is I was held in contempt for child support because I wasn't paying while I was still residing in Wisconsin. I was also on probation for the credit card theft that she was talking about. One of the many mistakes that I had made.
You had to be on dope.
No, sir.
You trying to act? Was he ever a crackhead
No.
or something?
No,
I've
sir.
never seen anybody do this in their right mind. Was he an alcoholic?
He
was something.
I did drink
Were you
pretty heavy back
alcoholic
then.
or not?
I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, but I
Often
did
you
drink.
drink every day, all day, but you wasn't alcoholic?
No, I wouldn't drink all day, every day.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, then I fled to another state. I took off and tried to live another life, live somebody I wasn't.
What did you become?
A deadbeat father is what actually I became.
You say you were living a life that...
Living a lie.
lie, okay.
And
Go ahead,
as
sir.
time went by, I had met and got into another relationship. We had moved from where we were at to Indiana, which was a little bit closer. And things were bothering me because I knew that I was always looking over my shoulder. I always had that
Looking
thought
over your
in my
shoulder
mind.
for what?
Getting in trouble for not paying child support and being on the run.
That's the only thing bothered you about this situation?
No, not the only thing.
Is this the son?
Can I say something?
Is this
Before
the
he
son
left,
that you're
yes.
talking about?
Yes, it is.
Please tell them that you were alcohol addicted or something and you weren't in your right mind. Because I would hate for this young man to think
Chad forgot
that you
to
were
mention.
that weak and that inconsiderate that when you did leave, the primary thing that concerned you was going to jail for child support. Not the plight of my son, the relationship I don't have with my son. I hate I'm not able to go to his baseball games. I hate I'm not able to go to his basketball games. I hate I'm not able to go to his elementary and middle school graduation. That's not what you hated. You said the main thing you were concerned about is looking over your shoulder because you had to pay child support. Man, you're the worst. What did you want to say, man?
Before Chad left from Huber, he made 3 other kids in Milwaukee. So he wasn't not only, I mean, he's in $165,000 in arrears just in Wisconsin. And he's been gone this entire time. So I proceeded to try and find Chad throughout the years because my son does have some medical issues that were pretty pertinent due to his early birth. Finally, Chad was arrested and charged with 7 counts of failure to support a child and executed back to Wisconsin.
They executed him. Well, he came back to life.
Or that's what they
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. Did you say he was executed?
Yeah, I did. That's what I was hoping, but no, it didn't happen.
Go ahead.
So he was brought back to jail. We got word. My son didn't want to see him at that time. But my son was obviously excited to get to know who his father was. Sure.
How much time did he get? That's what I'm interested in.
I stood up in court per my son's request and asked them not to put him in jail because he has not just the 4 kids in Wisconsin, but he has others. So I didn't want the kids to have to go through that. That wouldn't be fair to any of them. So, and it wasn't going to help me get the money. And, you know, when Brandon was growing up, it wasn't about the money. It was more about his health. But now it's kind of about the money because he's growing up and he wants to go to college. He's getting ready to join the military. He's in Civil Air Patrol. And since
It says a lot about you, young man. You've overcome some tremendous obstacles. That says a lot about you. Thank you. Congratulations.
And we were hoping for the best. You know, when Chad came back, we were hoping for a little bit different result. You know, Chad hasn't been the most dependable. You know,
he hasn't been the most dependable. Is that what you? Oh, well, you don't say.
You would think after everything that went and happened, you would think he would try and you know, all these kids are giving him a second chance here in Wisconsin, and it was let down
What
after
else do you want to say, sir?
I do feel horrible for what I did. And I'm glad that I'm able to try to have the second chance. I've still made some mistakes.
Are you paying child support
yes,
now?
sir, I am paying child support. I love him to death.
When did you begin trying to redeem yourself?
I tried redeeming myself when I got arrested back in January 2009.
Okay. And what have you been doing since that time?
There's a small percentage that goes, it's garnished on my paycheck on a weekly basis. A small percentage goes towards the arrearages. The rest goes to current child support. And
what type of association have you had with your children?
I still have made mistakes.
Still can't get it
not
right.
Perfect. I'm trying. I am there. I missed a very important situation with my son in June because I could not take off work. I asked my boss if I could be there and was told that I couldn't take off.
What shift do you work?
I'm a dump truck driver, and I work from 5 a.m. till 5 p.m., if not later.
So obviously it was between those hours.
Yes, it was. It started, I believe, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had to be there by 12:30 or we weren't allowed.
How long had you been working there?
I've been at this job since May of this year, but prior to that, I've been an OTR driver over the road, and I came off the road.
Do you think he's making his best effort since '09?
He hasn't.
You want to talk?
Yes.
State your name again.
Brandon Voss.
Yeah, what do you think since '09, or anything you want to tell me about this?
He hasn't really, I mean, he's tried, but not his best. I mean, he's tried, but he's let me down time after time, breaks promises. He's putting his girlfriends before me, he's promised me cars, and just really hurt.
I wish I had your other kids in here. How old are they?
They range from 13 being the youngest, and the other two are 14.
I wish I had them in here so they can tell you how they feel about you too. You had to feel like the biggest loser in civilization.
I still do.
Young man, I'm so proud that you were able to overcome this and you're able to obtain some success, continue with your success, and use this as a sense of inspiration, all right? That's what I did. My dad wasn't part of my life either. I really didn't spend any more than about 30 days with him in my entire life. But quite frankly, that inspired me to kind of want to show him. And sure enough, oddly enough, I'm told that when he was on his deathbed, that he saw where I was elected judge.
Nice.
Had never had any association with me since I was 12, but on his way out, that was your son just becoming the youngest judge elected in the history of the state.
That's awesome.
Got me? And he gonna be bragging on you then. Well, that's my son. Whatever it is, that's my son. That's my son. Somebody gonna say, shut up. You done had nothing to do with it. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Just hope you try more and put in more effort, and if you promise stuff, try to keep it at least, and just try to catch up on your child support, which is probably gonna take a while, but
I want to apologize to both of you. I feel so bad, and I want to move forward. Sorry, I love you.
I love you too.